Okay, so hello and welcome engineers and tech enthusiasts to another exciting episode of Engineerhub. So I am your host and guide on this journey through the world of technology and engineering. Okay, so as from the title, you've got the topic that's a hot one in the tech world. That is how to ace in preparations or how when you have to start DSA. So how to ace that? But before we dive into that, let me extend a warm welcome to all of our new subscribers and our new joinees. And I would say a big thank you to our loyal audience. Obviously, your support keeps us motivated to bring you the best content on all the things engineering, programming, and technology. So, as we all know that we are here to discuss about the few important questions that you have in your mind that are the most frequent questions that a person asks whenever he or she is starting their preparations in the DSA. So, let's start. So these are the important questions which I get to know that most of the students ask. That we all know that how to start. Most common and the first question comes to the mind of a new starter, the student who wants to start DSA, or even obviously a first year students or even a third year students who are going to be appearing for the interviews in which the DSA round is the important one. So they want to know how to start. Okay, so obviously the start for a first year student and the final year or the third year students is different. So we'll be explaining that. In our next question, how much DSA, what is the point at which I can say that, yeah, this much DSA is sufficient or this much DSA is enough. So obviously we have to get to know or we have to have a belief that yeah at this point I am very confident, I'm confident enough to say that yeah I'm fully prepared with the DSA. So what is that point, how to understand that point? Okay, so if someone wants to start but their strategy whatever they have designed for themselves is not working, that means they are failing in preparing for DSA, they are appearing in the interviews but they are not able to answer the questions that been asked regarding the DSA, in spite of they've been preparing a lot, still they can't answer. So is there any strategy in my mind that can help you guys? So if is, let's see that if it will be there obviously if we have kept this question. So third question will be all around the strategy, and obviously the last one, if someone is doing DSA then what variety of questions he or she solve, or what is the variety of question one must focus on. Obviously few of the questions have are we have been the lead code or the different platforms have divided their questions in the basis of their levels. So there can be easy level question, medium level questions, hard level questions. So let's see what variety of questions are the most to focus upon. Okay, so let's start. The first question for today is how and where to start if someone has no prior knowledge and want to start from scratch. So obviously as I mentioned that a first year student or the second year, those students have a lot of time to explore. Obviously if they want to explore different things, if they are starting DSA, they can go according to their own pace, they don't have any particular target in a short duration, they can make a long term goals and they can do it at their own pace. But for a third year students, they have limited time and they must be preparing for some interviews or some technical assessment. So they have that target within the short duration, so they have to complete the particular course or the DSA preparation within that time frame. So I'll be discussing for both of the scenarios. Let's see what are those. So yeah, obviously for the first year students, if you're in first year and don't have prior knowledge in your field of study, it's never too late to start building your knowledge and skills. Obviously, you can start anytime whenever you feel like, but if you start in your first year, then I would tell you honestly that will be the best time. Slow and steady wins the race. That is the most common and important quote. So yeah, I would give some few advice to you on how to get started. I have mentioned few of the points over here you can see on the slide. And first of all is identify your goals. Obviously, you have to keep some goals in your mind, that why you are preparing for DSA. Okay, so that why question has to be answered. What are your goals? If you have fixed goals, then you must be preparing accordingly, and there will be something to get motivated for. Like if I have a goal that I have to be in a company that is a FANG or MANG one, then they have a good technical assessments, then they must be asking good DSA level questions, that must be including dynamic programming or graphs, trees, etc. So I would be having my DSA to be a strong point. I should have my DSA to be very strong, because a question can be asked from anywhere. So if I have that particular goal, then I can boost up my preparation accordingly. Okay. So if you're in first year, then you can seek for academic support. Obviously, you can go to your professors or you can go to your mentors. And in our Engineer Hub, we also provide mentorship to the students. It's absolutely free of cost. So you can access that and get an support for yourself. If you're going to through a path and you face some problem, then you can discuss with those people. You can ask, you can get your query resolved with those mentors. So that is the thing, that support is a must. And if you move to the next point, self study, obviously if you have learned something, then you must revise it. You must do some self study, you must some do experiments on that by applying it in different scenarios. By, like, if we say we are solving some DSA problem, then we should look for the edge cases. We should check whether this algorithm is giving me big of n squared, then can I make it big of log n, can I make it big of n, like it's optimization. So if you'll be going to do self study, then you will be assessing the same problem which you have learned earlier, and you can, if you can make any changes, you can move any improvement, then it's like you are doing great. So obviously you have to do some self study. Next is, if we mention about the organizations which you might be having in college, or some any organization which are active outside your college, you can be a part of that. And obviously outside of your college, we are there, that is Engineer Hub. So if you can't join any of your college clubs or organization, which is obvious, very obvious that most of the students are not a part of any clubs and college that help them to develop their technical skills. Because you obviously know that most of the students are not selected, they get rejected because they don't have any technical knowledge in their first years, and major recruitments are done during their first year, so they don't have any organization or club support. So obviously I would say, if you want that, then we at Engineer Hub, we provide each and every student a big opportunity to join us, and in whichever domain they want, they can join us as a mentor, they can join us as a campus ambassador, and they can seek any sort of help through our mentors. Okay. So if you want to know that few of the organizations, few of the clubs that we have, few of the domains we have the DSA, the data structure domain, we have the development domains like web development, Android, cyber security, and many more. If you want to know, you can just access the link below in the description, and you can access our Discord channel for that. Okay, moving on. Fifth point is participate in internships and hackathons. Obviously, that internships and hackathons will really help you build your resume, which is most important thing in while getting placed. Because during your interview, a lot of questions will be revolving around your resume. So your resume is the first impression that you will be making on an interviewee. So that is the thing which you have to update regularly and make it more and more good by your skills or by your achievements. So obviously if you are participating in some sort of internships or hackathons or the co-op programs, then if even though if you're not winning, if you're not confident enough that you are going to make it or not, still you participate, because you will get some that sort of exposure which is very necessary, and it will obviously help you to learn that how real corporate world works, what they are demanding, how they are going to implement something which are you are presenting. You must be creating an idea and you have to implement that. So even though that idea is unimplementable according to you, but still you can try, you will be obviously learning something, and which will be really good experience. So those experiences help you a lot. And last and final point, developing the soft skills, which is very important, because during the interview, most of the times a good person who has a good communication skills, even though he has less technical skills, sometimes help that soft skill help him or her to ace that interview. So I would say, if you're not a good communicator, then you should work on that, on your soft skills, and you should work on that. So this was all for the first year students start. And if you have any other questions, you can just comment down below. Let's proceed to the next slide. So obviously this quote, learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Obviously, for a student, if you're learning something, you just ask more and more questions if you can. You can ask on Engineerhub platforms, you can ask to your academic counselor, you can ask to your college professor, you can ask your mentors, any person you can ask, but you should question more and more, because that clarifies the concept more in your mind. Okay, let's move on. So yeah, for the third year students who are about to enter their final year, or they are about to face placements, the approach is obviously slightly different because you have a fixed time frame. And let's start. First point, most important one, focus on your specialization. Obviously, by the time you are in third year, you must be knowing that which specialization you are doing currently, and you will be writing that in your resume, and you will be presenting your projects on that particular specialization to the interviewer. So that specialization must be mostly focused, because you are going to answer a lot of questions on that if you are mentioning that. So if you are specialist in particular specialization, and that company is needing that particular person with that specialization, then that will really help you. So focus on your specialization more. And coming next point is networking. Obviously, you might have heard a lot of about referrals, and how a person get a referral. Mostly people use the LinkedIn, which is very popular nowadays. And in LinkedIn, people used to connect, not used to, people get connect to different persons in different industry. A person must can be an HR, can be a working professional in that company. And if I'm applying to that company, then I can ask for a referral from that person, or I can send my resume directly to the HR, even though the openings are not there, and letting him know that yeah, I'm available to work, and if any opening comes, then I should get a email, or I should get any update regarding that, so that I can appear for the interview. So networking through LinkedIn or any other platform is must, because network help you a lot. If you want to know more about networking, then you can just comment down below, and we'll be making a different video on that, because it's a particular separate topic. We won't be taking it here only. We'll be making separate video for that if you want. Okay. Yeah, moving on to the next point, as I mentioned, updating your resume. Your resume is the first impression that you will be making to the interviewer. So your resume must be updated. That means you must update your resume with your recent skills or any changes if you have done. Then you should update and provide them the latest resume, because as I mentioned, I would say not most, every question arises from that particular resume. Whatever thing you will be mentioning, you will be getting a question for that. It depends on the interviewer what he wants to ask. So place the things in your resume which you are confident about. The skills must be there which you are confident for. And for the obviously for resume building, if you want a more video on that or any tips on that, then you can comment down below. If you want that, we'll be making that video also. And obviously it's a separate topic and it's a vast, then we'll be working on that. Okay, moving on to the next point is practice interview skills. Obviously, whatever interview you are appearing for, then whatever skill set you have mentioned for your on your resume for that particular job, then you should be ready for any sort of questions that can be made or that can be arise from that particular skill set in your interview. So you should practice that, or I would say that you should do a sort of mock interview among your friends or your colleagues, and really any sort of group would be very helpful, because a mock interview gives you a 50 to 60% experience that you might be facing in your real interview. So you'll be at least 50 to 60% prepared with your communication skills and with your answering skills, because most of the students know the answer but they are not able to present that answer. So presenting your answer is the must thing in your interview, so you should work on that. Next point is apply early and always. See, you should apply as soon as you get the openings, because most of the time what happens is they have a limited applicants and they do not mention that, and you must be waiting for that particular time for the last time. If you're waiting for that, sometimes you get to know that the job is already closed. So instead of waiting for particular time or the last time, you should apply as soon as possible. And if you have particular skill set and a company is asking for that person with that particular skill set, even though you are little bit prepared for the interview, I would still recommend you to apply, because you never know where you get a good luck and you just get shortlisted and get selected and your job offer letter is received. So you should try and apply more and more wherever your job description matches with your skill set. You should apply for that job. Lastly, obviously, seek guidance. A lot of students lack is guidance. They are good knowledge holder. They are good learner, but still they do not have that particular guidance that guide them to their goals. So what I would recommend is, if you seek guidance, you do not have any guide, mentor, or any college professor that you might need help of, then we are here, obviously. Our motto is helping students. I would say that most of the students don't know about us, but still we are at Engineer Hub. We are a team of mentors in every domain. It doesn't matter you are going for cyber security, you are going for web development, you are going for Android development, you are doing data structures and algorithms. You want to ask any sort of question. You want to ask question related to the freelancing, even though a lot of people are doing that, still you want to ask some any sort of questions regarding your goals or your technical career, then we are here. Just join us, and you can find, if you want to join, then you can find that our social handle links in our description of this video. So just access to that and connect with us. We'll be happy to help you. So yeah, as we know that both of the cases are mentioned, the common thing in both the cases is it's important to be proactive, stay motivated, okay, and take advantage of the resources and support available at your college, obviously, or there are a lot of resources available online. And even if you need any sort of help regarding the resources, then we are obviously here. Learning and career development are ongoing processes, and it's never too late to start or improve. So you can do that anytime, but you just need one single second to at least give a kickstart. And once you have started, then that goal must be achieved. So that is the question, and we have our answer. It's done. Let's move on to the next question. So yeah, as we said, how many questions are sufficient? See, when obviously when can one say that he has done sufficient question for the placements? And it can be different for different persons, because they might be doing preparation from their first year, or they might be preparing from their third year. So the number of questions can be different for different scenarios. Okay, so what must be the milestones that should be achieved to get to know that this point is sufficient, or this point is the point where I can say that I've solved the enough questions for the interview? So first point is quality over quantity. Obviously, quality matters while solving the DSA questions. It doesn't matter how many easy questions you have solved, how many medium questions have you solved, how many hard questions you have solved, or how many more and more questions you have solved in particular topic. That doesn't matter. What matters the most is that you have solved at least 5 to 10 questions of every important topic that is asked in the interviews of the DSA round. Okay, so that is the point. You have to prioritize quality more than quantity. Quantity never matters because a person with more experience always prioritized more, because you have solved different topics more rather than a same topic more and more with the same question. They do not want a perfectionist, they want an experienced person. So that is what, quantity doesn't matter over quality. Quality is important. Second is lead code and hacker rank. Then if you want to appear for interviews, then lead code is the best platform for the third year students. And for hacker rank, I would say if you are in first year and you are going to learn DSA, you are going to start, then you can start with hacker rank. You can start solving all the questions regarding the topic which you have learned recently. If you have learned array, then you should solve more and more questions on arrays. It doesn't see, I mentioned the first point that quality matters most over quantity. For the first years, as you have more time, then you can give more time, you can solve more and more questions. But for the third year who are going to appear in an interview, then quality obviously matters. And for the first year also, quality matters, but you have more time, then you can experience more and more questions. Okay. So I said that for the first year, HackerRank is the platform that you should start with, and Lead Code is the for the third year, and even first year can do. It doesn't matter, but I would recommend that HackerRank is a more user-friendly platform that you can solve. Okay, so you should keep practicing on the coding platforms. It doesn't matter which coding platform, but at least if you're going for the placements, then I would recommend Lead Code. Okay, so yeah, different levels. Don't worry if you can't do difficult level questions, because never judge yourself by if you can't solve the hard questions. The main problem is if you're solving any hard question, that is not a hard question because it is a combination of two medium level questions. What is a medium level question? It is a combination of two easy level questions. Basically, you have to break your problem in your two easy problems, and you just have to break those two problems into easy problems. At the end, you will be solving a particular point and then adding that to your code, like you are creating few of the functions and implementing together, and you are making a hard level problem. So that is what is a difficult question. That is the thing. So you just don't fear if you're not able, just don't worry if you can't solve the difficult level questions, because it doesn't matter, because more and more practice for the medium level questions or the easy level questions clears your concept, and that's it. What is the main point regarding the hard level questions? I already mentioned it. They are the combinations of the few questions of the medium level or easy level. So just look out for the discussion. If you are going to, if you really want to solve hard level question and you can't, then go to the hard level questions discussions, and just get to know and understand how they're solving that question. What are the approaches? If you have to start with brute force, and how they optimize that, and what data structure I can apply to optimize it. So just do that. While you will be doing that daily and daily and daily, then you will be just getting clarified in your mind then how to approach that particular question, and if the same problem comes later in your interview, then you know how to do that. So that is how it works. One more important thing, as the next point suggests, contests are must. Obviously, you must attend more and more contests, because that gives you a some sort of experience for the online assessments. As you all know, that first round of elimination is obviously an online contest or online test for the companies. So you must attend that to get that experience and how to solve something within time, because that is the thing which you are going to do finally. So you should attend more and more contests, and if you're improving some sort of coding profile, then that will be really helpful by placing that in your resume and mentioning that thing during your interview. So that will be a positive point for yourself. And obviously I mentioned mock interviews. Those are the must. One must participate in interviews within your friends or colleagues or any sort of group. If you are in group and everyone is agreed on a point that they are doing mock interviews, then you should proceed with that. You should participate more and more and gain more experience, and just prepare yourself for the final interviews. And obviously continuous learning. If you're learning DSA, then continuous learning is important, and you can't stop solving DSA problems, because if you've solved some particular problem at some point, and if you don't look it back and give a huge gap like 3 to 4 months, then it might be possible then that you forget that particular problem and that thing is gets skipped from your mind. So you should keep on learning more and more, but you should keep old things in your mind. Keep that particular knowledge which you have learned previously, do not forget that. Keep on practicing more and more, and learning never ends. And obviously, you should remember one thing, that different companies may focus on different aspects of DSA during their interviews. Some may prioritize coding challenges, while other may emphasize system design or behavioral interviews. Okay. So in addition to DSA, you must prepare for those aspects also for the interview as well. Okay. And ultimately, there is no fixed number of questions that guarantees a good job. So I would say that would be the answer. Your ability to solve problems. You should become a problem solver, not, obviously this point comes over quality over on quantity. So you should become a problem solver, not just ratifying few problems and you should give answer to that. You should be a problem solver. You should be ready to solve new problems. Your ability to solve problems, communicate your thought process, and adapt to specific interview requirements are equally important. Keep practicing, learning, and improving your skills, and you will increase your chances of landing a good job. So, this was the final answer for this question, and let's move on to the next one. So what are the hot topics? As I mentioned, that few of the important topics that you must focus on, and what are those? I would say that I have made a list, and you can find that particular document in the description if you want a detailed list for each and every topic. I would say that you should access that list and solve it accordingly. And I would start mentioning those topics. Obviously, everyone starts with arrays, but those who do not have basics cleared with the programming languages, like you are starting for C++, then you should learn for the standard library for that. And for the Java, you should be clear with the syntax. And let's start the list. So in starting, you start with the arrays and strings, then you move on to the linked list, then stack and queues, trees and graphs, sorting and searching, dynamic programming, greedy algorithms, hashing, advanced data structures comes at the last, obviously. And basics, yeah, obviously one more important topic is bit manipulation. Most important topic, recursion and backtracking. System design, math and number theory is the thing that you should learn in the starting, because these kind of things help you a lot while solving few of the questions. Divide and conquer, and we have few miscellaneous topics also, like try, disjoint, set, advanced graph. So yeah, this much. If you solve 10 to 15 questions regarding all the particular concepts of these particular important points that I mentioned, then that would be sufficient for you, and you will be really acing your interview. Your interviewer will be very amazed. So yeah, that were the hot topics for today. Let's move on to the next question. Yeah, strategy. If someone wants a strategy, like they were working on, they were following particular strategy of their own, but they were not able to do that. So what I would say, this strategy is something which can be helpful for someone, which, and it might not be helpful. It depends on how they are motivated, how their, what is their focus level, and how they're going to implement that. So that is most important. Strategies never work until unless you give your 100%. So this is just a recommendation, because this really helped me and a lot of people, and I would share this with you. So yeah, 50% revision and 50% moving forward. So obviously, while preparing for the DSA, this is the effective strategy, because it maintains a balance between consolidating and your existing knowledge and pushing your boundaries to acquire new skills. Because you are doing 50% revision for the concepts which you have learned earlier, and you're learning something new day by day. So that is like a loop. You've learned array 3 months before, and you're learning graphs today, but you have revised arrays today also, and you're learning graph. So that is like a infinite loop. You will be trapped there, and everything will be in your mind, and you won't be forgetting anything. So this is the strategy that really helped me a lot, and I would recommend you guys, you can try if you're facing any problem. But if you are good with your strategy, then I would recommend that you should stick to that. It's just a suggestion for you guys. Let me know in the comment section that does this strategy helped you, or are you already following this strategy before my recommendation? So just let me know. Let's move on to the next question. And yeah, the questions are finished. So this is the bonus section for you guys. Obviously, a lot of students know about these extensions which I'll be mentioning, because these extensions really helped me a lot while I was preparing for the DSA or for the development also. A development student can also use these points, okay, use these extensions for their preparations. So obviously, first one is lead code extension. So this particular extension, if you use this for practice, there are browser extensions that can help you to track your progress. So basically, if there is something that can track your progress, then you will be really motivated to get to know that, yeah, I have done 50%, my progress is 50%, and I've just achieved my half of the milestone and half way is left. So that is kind of gives you a better overall user experience and something to get motivated for. The second is the HackerRank competitive programming extension. Like I mentioned, a lot of people will be going to practice on HackerRank. So this extension can help you to navigate the platform more efficiently and access various coding challenges. So basically, HackerRank is this extension help you to more and more give you a good navigation through the platform more efficiently, and obviously you can access a lot of different things very easily. Next is the GitHub repository search. So this is the most important extension, I would say, because it helped me to search the DSA related repositories and code examples on GitHub. Because a lot of students think that most of the thing or the development projects are placed in GitHub, but GitHub also have few repositories in which a basic DSA related problems are there, DSA related questions are there, or the projects are there. Then you can find the real world implementations of algorithms and data structures. So you can go through that, you can do a lot of stuff over there. If you're someone who is doing web development or other development things, then you can use the CodePen and JS Fiddle. And if you're learning algorithms related to web development, as I mentioned, browser-based coding environments like CodePen or JS Fiddle can be very helpful. There are extensions for both the platforms. Okay, these are the different extensions actually. So yeah, Markdown Viewer for reading and creating Markdown files, which is very often used for documenting and explaining algorithms and code. This is very helpful tool if you're sharing your solutions with others, and yeah, that will be really helpful. Obviously, ad blockers, next one, which is very important, as you will be referring to a lot of tutorials, you will be referring to a lot of YouTube videos, and those ads really stop my preparations. So I would recommend you that you should use an ad blocker. If you're not aware of how to use it, then you can Google it. It is very easily accessible and you can get it done. And next one is Vimium or surfing keys. Obviously, these browser extensions provide keyboard shortcuts, because you must be working while developing few Android web. You will be accessing a lot of the IDEs, and then you should go to the different software and this software. So while navigating between different, you will be using those shortcuts by saving your time, and you can focus on something more important. So these are the things. This extension really helps you a lot. Next one is Grammarly, obviously. If you're writing explanations or tutorials for DSA concepts, Grammarly can help you a lot and improve your writing. You must be asking for a lot of referrals through LinkedIn to the HR or the person who is already placed in that particular company. Then your language matters the most. You must not make any grammatical mistakes, or you want your English to be more, your message to be more and more appropriate and very good words, you must use very good words, then Grammarly will be the extension which will help you a lot. Next one is JSON viewer. So this is useful for visualizing JSON data, which you may encounter when you're working with APIs or certain data structures. So this will help you in visualizing the JSON data. So if you're working on APIs, then this is the extension you should get. Last one is the also the important one which helped me a lot, Stack Overflow Enhancer. If you frequently visit the Stack Overflow for problem solving, so this extension can make the site more user friendly by adding features and enhancing the user experience. So this is really a good extension I used and I would recommend you. So whatever the extensions I've mentioned, these are some things which might help you during your preparations. And this is not something that is must to do. These are the just suggestions from my side that you should use, and it doesn't matter if you don't have to use these extension, you just carry on with your preparation. That is what matters. Okay. So this was the bonus for you in this video. And I guess this is the end of the video. And if you are made it till this point, then thank you for watching this video. If you want more videos, and whether you are a beginner or an expert, I believe this video has something valuable for you in your DSA journey. And if you want, or if you found it helpful, please hit that like button, and also press that subscribe button and ring the bell icon for more content and daily updates. And obviously your support means the world to us, and we are Engineerhub already dedicated to helping you guys only. If you have any questions or topics you would like us to cover, leave a comment in the comment sections and we'll be looking for that. And if there is a particular topic which is asked more, then we'll be creating the video on that as soon as possible. And obviously, keep coding, keep learning, and keep achieving your goals. Until next time, this is your host, Badur Tripathi, signing off. Stay curious and stay engineering. Thank you, guys.